Divorce is a complex phenomenon often rooted in psychological factors that impact a couple's relationship dynamics. One of the primary reasons for divorce is a lack of communication. When partners fail to express their needs and concerns, it fosters resentment and distance. Similarly, emotional or physical neglect can leave one or both partners feeling undervalued and disconnected. Financial struggles are another significant factor, as money issues can breed stress, conflict, and sometimes manipulation. Additionally, as individuals evolve, their life goals may diverge, leading to incompatibility. Infidelity, a profound breach of trust, remains a leading cause of marital dissolution. To fortify a relationship, couples can engage in regular check-ins to discuss emotions and aspirations, cultivate emotional intimacy through meaningful interactions, align their financial goals early on, and consider professional therapy to address issues proactively. These strategies can help build a resilient partnership capable of weathering challenges.
Welcome back, everybody. Welcome to the Talk Podcast. Yes, you have guessed it. Today, the topic is once again about divorce. And I'm not saying that I'm having fun with this, but I think it is very interesting and it's a meaningful topic. And even for us who are not married or who have never been divorced, I think the aspects that people are struggling with in the reason, in a sense of the reason why they turn out to, get divorced, I think all couples struggle with, right? And one of the key points is going to be, I guess, that I will choose is the lack of communication. So, a quick example is when your day to day life, you've been in a long relationship, and suddenly all the conversation you both have is, "Hi, how was your day? Yeah, I did this, I did that," and that's it. Basically, like a quick WhatsApp conversation that has become your routine. Then I would say it is good to keep an eye on that, to actually point that out and to find ways to create more time for, meaningful conversation. Now, you don't need to pretend and force it and come up with things that are not really happening in your life. That's not what I'm saying. But I think the moment you notice that, it's good to just, sit together on a Sunday and actually speak that out. One of you needs to say, "Look, I noticed that we've not been talking as much, or I don't know what you're thinking. I don't know how you're feeling. I don't know what's on your mind." And the moment you address that and you guys realize it's not about judgment, it's not about who's doing, less of the talking. It's just to understand that, hey, there's a gap here, there's something different, and we can both choose to change that. And I would say that's something that happens in every relationship, right? So that was a quick and very, how do you say, vague example, but I hope you understand what I mean. So the reason why it's very important to have great communication, especially when you are in a long-term relationship and you are looking to get married and all that good stuff, I think most of the times, yes, you do know who you are with, okay? You know your partner, you know your person. Otherwise, why would you be with that person, right? Um, I'm sure people who have experienced that are going to be thinking, what the hell are you saying? But I'll get there. So, what happens over time is that people just start assuming because that's the person they've known before so far, that's the person they've got to know how to love. We tend to forget that, yet, even in silence or whatever, that person can change, grow, want to tap into different ideas. And at the same time, even as you are assuming perhaps that maybe things are just the way they are, that person might be also assuming, oh, yeah, things are just the way they are, while they are actually, having different cravings, different thoughts, whatever. Well, you as well, for sure. So these are things that happen at the same time, simultaneously, but for each individual. And no one's ever going to get to that because we do not talk. We just assume to know the person already that we used to know. That's why we got with them. The person we've known so far because that's how it's been, right? And the person we've known to learn how to love, and that's it. But we don't really take that idea further yet. We just kind of freeze on that part, but we just expect and we want to take that person along on our journey. It's just going to be that way, right? And don't get me wrong, because I guess for people who are married or go into the marriage, that's the baseline of the idea. I get that, and I'm totally supportive of that you both agree to want to go through life together. But I'm thinking really the reason why in dating, relationships, long-term relationships, people who are looking to get married, people who were engaged and then suddenly it broke up, people who find themselves, this topic we're dealing with, divorce, it's just because we stop. And it's not, I don't think it's like a mean thing, but we just stop over time understanding that, yet this person to the core, but this individual, we evolve, and evolving can mean so much. Doesn't mean, because I think when we hear that, we always have this idea of, oh, someone has a plan, made out on business idea and what they're going to do next, and then they're planning this. No, it's not always that. It can be tiny reactions, it can be tiny ideas, it can be things that you pick up maybe from social settings, from work, that can, I would use the word, influence your thought process, which that's the case. That's what happens all the time with us human beings, right? You see that exactly with young children and teenagers within their peer groups, how you would, assume a certain behavior, but because in that time frame things change so fast, but I hope that makes the idea clear, the next week, the next month, things can be completely different. A tiny little thing, a tiny little difference within the social setting can create whatever kind of pattern in that person's mind. And now the whole setting that's been, so solid, they know each other, can just suddenly crack, right? Don't get it too confused with the teenage life, but I hope this is kind of making it clear where I'm going with this. So it's so, so, so important to talk and to ask questions in a way like you are dating again, like you'd always want to get to know that person fresh. Now, I know everyone has a life, we're busy, we're working, kids, people have kids, um, but I think the fact that we don't put that out in forefront, right? That's the problem. Think of it as a business, okay? I used to kind of put relationships, if I want to explain it, in the same scale as work or business, and not negative at all, but there's some aspects that are definitely going to match in the same, in both settings. And then there's some aspects that, if it comes to our work, we put so much effort. We look, we plan, we communicate. We even have like structures on how we communicate. We have like a kind of team behind it on all these kind of things. But when it's in our private lives, we just do not do all these things. And that's so, it's it's simple, but it's shocking at the same time, because we just neglect that idea, right? We just ignore, well, I cannot talk. We just ignore the fact that, yes, I do know this person, but still, I only know that person for what I've known so long, and what I've known to be used to, and what I've known to have, but what is next? What is after? What could be new that I haven't discovered about that person? Does that make sense?